I can't wait to go home and tell my children that. Because when they see me in those gym trunks from 1980, and those old sneakers and all those things, they don't think I'm that cool. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Boston's public university, the only one, the University of Massachusetts, Boston. We're so grateful to have you here. It's your university. So thank you for coming out and being a part of what we see every day. It was unbelievable, Vicki, to walk up here this morning and feel the buzz of everyone and the excitement. And so thank you, the family, the board, and everyone else for getting us here. Now, I know I'm here to celebrate the educational partnership between the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the United States Senate and the University of Massachusetts, Boston. And I know I'm not supposed to tell you that this campus has 16,000 students and we have unbelievable faculty, 900 or so, and that our students come from 130 countries and 90 different languages are spoken here, and the mayor is an alumni. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say that we do support wholeheartedly the goal of the Institute to illuminate the great debates of the Senate's past. But I'm also here to tell you that these moments in our history inspire our present, and they also inform tomorrow's leaders. And I'm going to show you some of that, and we're going to see this work today. One such moment that we're so proud of in those times, and it's a time that many of us in this room can relate to, was the 1964 debate over the Civil Rights Act. This bill was filibustered for 57 days and was finally broken in June of 1964. The first time in the United States history that a filibuster had been broken in the Senate on a civil rights bill. Perseverance, 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 it paid off. Our Senator Ted Kennedy, someone who is so dear to my heart, understood that quality very, very, very well. The Edward M. Kennedy Institute will use historic Senate debates like this to help make our legislative process accessible and engaging to a wide audience. It was Senator Kennedy's wish that visitors to the Institute would come to understand how senators of both parties work together to address the great challenges facing our country. And it was his hope that visitors would leave this institute inspired to civic action and inspired to involvement. Now, on April 9th, 1964, 47 years ago tomorrow, Edward M. Kennedy made his first speech in the Senate, urging his fellow legislators to pass the Civil Rights Act. His eloquence, his passionate commitment to equality for all Americans in that first speech would be echoed time and time and time again throughout his career as a United States Senator. So, on this historic day, as both a preview of the educational offerings of the Institute and a tribute to the champions of civil rights in the Senate, and also for me to be able to show off the caliber of student that we have at the University of Massachusetts, and in particularly at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, we've invited 3 of our students, Vicki, from the University of Massachusetts, Boston, to bring alive the historic debate on the Civil Rights Act of 1964. They will be reading excerpts from Senators Hubert Humphrey, Democrat from Minnesota, Edward Kennedy, Democrat from Massachusetts, and Minority Leader Everett Dirksen, Republican from Illinois. Now, Abel Ray Cano, come up here, a junior sociology major and a communications minor, and also the coordinator of Casa Latina, will read an excerpt from Senator Hubert Humphrey's address, delivered on March 30th, 1964.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Mr. President, I cannot overemphasize the historic importance of the debate we are beginning. We are participants in one of the most crucial eras in the long and proud history of the United States, and yes, in mankind's struggle for justice and freedom, which has gone forward since the dawn of history. If freedom becomes a full reality in America, we can dare to believe it will become a reality everywhere. If freedom fails here in America, the land of the free, what hope can we have that it will survive elsewhere? The Golden Rule exemplifies what we are attempting to do in this civil rights legislation. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If I were to capsule what we are trying to do in this legislation, it is to fulfill this great admonition, which is the guiding rule of human relations. If we are to have justice, tranquility, peace, and freedom. The bill has a simple purpose: to give fellow citizens the same rights white people take for granted. It is no more than the Constitution guarantees. Surely, the goals of this bill are not too much to ask for the Senate of the United States. Thank you.
Oh, that's not, here we go, here we go. Now, Neil S. McInnes Barker, a senior marketing and majoring in environmental earth and ocean sciences, but he's also our undergraduate student senate president. And so, come on up here. He's going to read an excerpt from Senator Kennedy's first speech to the United States Senate from April 9th, 1964.
How did I get so lucky? Yeah, exactly. And I have to take this opportunity with all these great leaders here to mention I'm graduating. And I'm taking job offers. I'm very eager and inspired by this institute to be a public servant. So I was a former union organizer. And I'll probably be knocking on Congressman Markey's door. Where is he? Because I share a passion for environmental sciences, healthcare, thank you, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker Pelosi, and higher ed. So, thank you, Chancellor Motley.
You're welcome.
I'm honored to read a portion of this historic speech to the United States Senate in April of 1964, when Senator Kennedy said, "Mr. President, it is with some hesitation that I rise to speak on the pending legislation before the Senate. A freshman senator should be seen, not heard, should learn and not teach. It is true that prejudice exists in the minds and hearts of men. It cannot be eradicated by law. But I firmly believe a sense of fairness and goodwill also exists in the minds and hearts of men. This noble characteristic wants to come out. Law, expressing as it does the moral conscience of the community, can help it come out in every person. So in the end, the prejudice will be dissolved. As a young man, I want to see an America where everyone can make his contribution, where a man will be measured not by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. I remember the words of President Johnson last November 27th. No memorial, oration, or eulogy could more eloquently honor President Kennedy's memory than the earliest possible passage of the Civil Rights Bill for which he fought so long. My brother was the first president of the United States to state publicly that segregation was morally wrong. His heart and his soul are in this bill. If his life and death had a meaning, it was that we should not hate, but love one another. We should use our powers not to create conditions of oppression that lead to violence, but conditions of freedom that lead to peace. It is in that spirit that I hope the Senate will pass this bill. April 9th, 1964.
If you notice, our students learn to use their time well. And I know the senator is probably looking down saying, what is wrong with you today, Keith? You have these two guys up here. And so now, finally, come on up here, Juliet Rory. She is a junior, and she has a double major, majoring in Africana Studies and also in Spanish. And she will share the words of Senate Minority Leader Everett M. Dirksen from June 10th, 1964.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm really honored and humbled to be here. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Today, the Senate is stalemated in its efforts to enact a civil rights bill. There are many reasons why cloture should be invoked and a good civil rights measure enacted. First, it is said, on the night that he died, Victor Hugo wrote in his diary substantially this sentiment. Stronger than all the armies is an idea whose time has come. The time has come for equality of opportunity in sharing in government, in education, and in employment. It will not be stayed or denied. Second, years ago, a professor who thought he had developed an incontrovertible scientific premise submitted it to his faculty of associates. Quickly, they picked it apart. In agony, he cried out, "Is nothing eternal?" To this, one of his associates replied, "Nothing is eternal except for change." To those who have charged me with doing a disservice to my party, and there have been many, I can only say that our party finds its faith in the Declaration of Independence, which was penned by a great Democrat, Thomas Jefferson by name. There he wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." That has been the living faith of our party. Do we forsake this article of faith now that the time for our decision has come? There is no substitute for a basic ideal. We have a duty to use the instruments at hand, namely the cloture rule, to bring about the enactment of a good civil rights bill. I appeal to all senators. We are confronted with a moral issue. Today, let us not be found wanting. Thank you guys very much.
So thank you, Abel, Neil, and Juliet, and thank all of you here today who are here to celebrate both this institute and this great moment in our country's history to teach, inform, and inspire current and future generations. Thank you, thank you, thank you.